Will Mirai have enough Finner to hit that finishing blow? What will actually happen? Will it actually be successful, or were they just hitting us with a crazy cliffhanger and then we have more battling and stuff to go? I don't know. Lots of questions still up here, and we'll end up seeing how that kind of evolves. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Like, I'll hit the like and subscribe to me lots. May feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comment if this is a particular series. Let's go on with episode 10 of Beyond the Boundary. I'm assuming this is after the fact, or is this when Izumi calls her to talk to her?
那瀬泉と申します。
なぜ家の。
ええ、あなたに知らせたいことがあって電話しました。
The initial time, maybe then? When she ended up moving in. Okay. This is what I wanted to know. What the hell happened in that meeting? But I guess this is from the beginning. So his human side did reawaken? So they baited us for nothing? They baited me for nothing? I just assumed that was gonna happen, though.
気がついたんですか？
そんなことがあったのか。
Just gotta play it off like it was... Oh my god. Oh my god. Lame.
多分凪の影響だと思います。
無国籍料理にうまいものなしって言うだろう。
オムライスです。
オムライス？
美月先輩に聞いて。
What?
先輩オムライスが好物だって。
Yeah, but what is that?
卵は？
In there somewhere.
茹で？
仕方がなかったんです。卵、それがラスイチだったんですから。
ラスイチ。あ、
Oh my god.
使ったの。
Couldn't figure it out.
うわなんだこれ。
未来は片時も離れず、ずっと看病していた。まだ気づかない。
何が？
未来、この人ダメかも。
Why would you tell him?
はっきり言った方がいい。何をですか？何をですか？おはようございます、先輩。今日も寒いですね。
I'm confused on the timeline right now. Was he just like lifeless afterwards? What the fuck? Well, they just got propped up like that?
おお、メガネ。
おかしいわね。秋人の声が聞こえるなんて幻聴かしら。
でかしたぞ。サングラスはメガネに比べると破壊力という点でやや落ちるのは否めないが、普段していない子が次にメガネというシチュエーションだけで。
よく喋る幻ね。
幻？
秋人は死んだはずよ。
So
2
what the
週間ほど前に憎まれ、軽蔑
I'm just confused. If it's 2 weeks, then where did the winter scene come from?
死んでいったわけだから。
死んでない。
The one that we knew did.
もう一度自分のことを見つめ直すことね。もうゴリゴリだわ。こんな思いをするの。
Y'all gotta explain it to him.
そこの変態も一緒に部室に運んでおいて。
おい、変態。
なんだ変態。
His eye too good.
雪、全然やみませんね。
So he's moving in this. This girl can never stay upright. What is like control? I'm so lost.
栗山さん、時間ある？
Nice.
いや、ご飯でも食べてこい。あ、お金なかったらおごるから。
Always
ほ
broke.
ら、全然わからないけど、きっといろいろ迷惑かけたんで。
もうちょっと早く言ってくれたら。
ダメなの？
はい。多分日が暮れたら終わっちゃいますから。
どういうこと？
先輩は
Something to do with the sun allowing him to function?
僕に似ているから。そう言ったら栗山さんは怒る。
You'd say it's unpleasant.
嫌なのかよ。
そんなことありませんよ。
She's on the verge of resisting.
ですか？
なんでそうなるんだよ。
美月先輩から神原先輩は虐げられることで強い快感を得るって言われたので
That's just her,
なかなかうまくいかないものですね。
うまくいかなくていいんだよ。美月に言われたことは忘れてくれ。
嫌です忘れません忘れませんよ。
Oh, what the fuck?
なんだ。
初めから教会の彼方を倒すためにこの町に来たんです
Right.
けどうまくいかなかったんです。なぎのこの時に私の血の力を使えば先輩の中にいる教会の彼方を追い出せるって聞いて私どうしてもそうしたくて
It drove into. How does that lead us to this?
消えました。
Right.
じゃあここにいる栗山さんは誰なんだよ。
先輩まだ起きてないんですよ。
Oh.
ここまだ夢の中なんです。先輩の中に残っている私のわずかな血がこの夢を見せているんです。
The connection through the blood memories.
でももう終わりです。先輩もう目が覚めます。
And I won't be anywhere near you. Oh,
夢だからできると思ったけど、
yeah.
やっぱり難しいですね。さよなら。
Opposed to her being there, how we initially saw it, just the glasses.
呪われた血を正当に受け継ぐ異界師です。
And they told him not to get involved with her because then it would be all the more hard and it would also hinder what's happening. Show him the abilities.
対象は不死身と言われているのだろう。
はい。
不死身？
実際には再生能力が恐ろしく速いだけだけど、不死身の汎用、この辺りの異界師にはそう言われているわ。
Okay. They misled me. That's all they did the whole time. They said, let's mislead you.
違い、反人間、反ヨウムのありえない危険な存在。調べてみたら、そのヨウムの部分が教会の彼方みたいなの。私の弟がこれの討伐中返り討ちに。
Yep. Hence his back injuries.
教会の彼方この人。
異界視教会は感づいているのか。
おそらく私が彼女のサポートに入ります。盆栽？
はい。それより
Let's not focus on that.
教会の彼方はどこに？
It's at
心
school.
配しないで。ちゃんと監視しているわ。
Yep.
どちらにしろ
Which is what Mitsuki was doing.
だったら早い方が。
できる。
Right, because you don't want to ever have to meet the person, let that drag on.
違う。あなたの心の準備はできているのって意味。
Big difference between physical and mental ability. Yeah.
異界師に嫌な思いをさせられてきたのに、こんなことをお願いして。
Mm.
そんなこと言われたくありません。
Asking you to recreate what has happened before. See, she doesn't seem like the worst person in the world in a situation like this.
汎用の名は神原明人。高校2年生。
君、
That's why every encounter was like that, right?
あのさ、それ
And it made it all the more easy for her to do it because she's basically been told that he's immortal and she physically was like, I'm not going to be able to do it, so it doesn't matter. Strike a pose that you're actually doing something when in reality you might not be.
の中を流れるこの呪われた血は普通じゃない。この力は。
それは僕も同じだよ。
どうしてそんなこと言うんですか？どうして？
表層に教会の彼方が現れることが必ずあるわ。その時を狙って。
わかりました。
So just wait it out till it comes.
先に言っておくけど、明人君とは距離を取っておいた方がいい。
And they all offered warnings to him to keep the distance, probably through things that she told. So they've probably been aware of something for a little bit.
文芸部に一度招待しようと思うんだ。いいだろう。部活に入ってないっていうし、同じ学
But he was so opening and welcoming to you, right?
ばかりだっ
お
て。
断りしますと言ったはずです。
待って。
ついてこないでください。なのに大体なんでついてきたんですか。
メガネの美少女だから。
先輩は追いかけてきて、私先輩のこと何も分かってませんでした。先輩がどれだけ辛いのか、どれだけ大変な思いをしてきたのか止めなきゃ。それで私は
You went against everything that you tried to do.
言ったはずよ。秋人君とは距離を取れと。教会の彼方はうつろな影が憑依したことで明らかに弱っていた。あなたは教会の彼方を倒すチャンスをみすみす逃した。
Here's this meeting. That we never get to see it, but we just get to see them looking at each other.
先輩を殺したくありません。
Does she offer the solution of him being able to stay alive if you're the one who goes in the process?
神原秋人に凍結界を仕掛けて人間の部分を
Which you did do.
なぎで弱っている教会の彼方を表層に引きずり出し、神原秋人を殺さずに救う方法があることを告げる。殺しなさい。
I'm assuming that's what you met and said after that fact, though.
必ず決断するはずです。ただ、異界視教会は教会の彼方を追って必ず動くはず。
Yep.
奴らに先を越される前に必ず討伐してみせます。
メールに書かれていたこと本当なんです。
And this is exactly what she does to be able to get him to, okay, well, they're answering all my questions last time, so.
秋人君の命を奪わずに表層に現れている教会の彼方を引きずり出すことができるはず。
But there's a great risk
ただ
involved.
それはあなたの全てが教会の彼方に侵されるということ。
でも先輩は助かる。
And not caring about herself in that morning and making that decision to
はい。
worry about him, yeah.
秋人君の居場所よ。
And then we use the paper. It's crazy
本気で秋
how we can flip everything like this. How you can build something and then change perspectives of main characters that you're possibly following up to it.
あなたに生きてほしいのよ。自分を殺してあなたに生きてほしい。
And you each want to do that. That's funny.
ですよね。
それでも
You're still gonna live by your own wishes as opposed to his, though, right?
はい。きっと先輩怒ると思います。
But at least he has the opportunity to get upset.
私がこんなことしたって聞いたら何も分かってないって。あの時みたいに。
But he's the one who doesn't understand anything in this situation.
ざまあミロです。あれが教会の彼方の中心。
Still confused by all the snow scenes.
栗山さん。
I started talking on it a little bit during the episode, but I think it's actually so awesome. Such a good twist of being able to build the story all the way up to this point, and then kind of just flip it, but it makes sense. Like, there isn't questions where I'm just like, wait, but why did that happen? Wait, that doesn't add up, right? It was like things I started suspecting after the last one ended, right? Why was this Izumi the one who was like having, like, why is she listening to her, basically? Why is Mirai listening to her? Like, where is all of this stuff kind of coming in? This conclusion that they've come to of her wanting to actually go out of her way and kill him for the entire time. How does any of that make sense? Where did all that come from? And then being able to just kind of think about it and be like, well, she did arrive and she did have it out for you and she was close to this person and they were kind of keeping an eye on you and all of this was happening, but it all just kind of worked within the main story itself that we were building up to this point. That when you flip perspectives and you look at it from basically either Izumi or you look at it from Mirai's point of view of like where they're kind of operating here, you start seeing like, wait, it works from this angle too, and it works differently. And it's a really excellent twist of being able to do that and makes things extremely interesting, which I actually thought was so awesome. they were able to. It made it really trippy too at the beginning of the episode because everything was so confusing of like, what is happening? We're in these different things. Bro's like soulless and this one, wait, he doesn't actually like exist here, or she doesn't actually exist here, and then this is happening. It was like, what the fuck's going on? But I thought it was actually so cool the way that they presented all of that. And it was meant to mislead you for the most part, but now being able to go back and you can kind of understand a little bit as to what's going on. So I'm still a little off. So I think I could be wrong here, but I'm going to make the assumption that the boundary itself basically took over entirely of Mirai and her body, which we end up getting to see, causing her to disappear and everything in the process. But I'd assume when that happens, it doesn't maybe necessarily kill her, but more so drops her almost in a state similar to like where this battle and the thing that was kind of happening with Sakura and Mirai earlier into the season occurred. And it puts us in a spot here where Mirai is now kind of just gone from like existence of everybody else, but she's still living within this thing and she has the opportunity to escape. Does she actually defeat the core of this, which we see her at the end looking for the core of the boundary or of the horizon here. And she's looking for this and she needs to actually defeat this. And if she's able to, she'll be able to free herself from it. And then I think be able to come back and kind of live her life almost normal would be the assumption that I'm kind of building on that. And I think that that is representative that she isn't gone through the indication of her glasses that we get to see it multiple times, as in the last episode she leaves her red glasses behind, right? And then we get to see this episode she leaves, or next to Akihito when he wakes up, is her red glasses. You're under the assumption probably that whoever found him took them and also just left them there, or maybe Sakura or somebody found them and left them behind, then leading to a point where now we see her and she has these black frames as opposed to the red ones, which would almost indicate to me like she's in like this kind of void state, or she's like trapped within this thing, and she has a different pair because of course she still has to see, but it's a more so visual representation because she didn't have time of course to go out of her way and get another one and do all those things, but visual representation to like indicate like she's in a different spot. And it's also very indicative of like she's in the winter season trapped within this thing, whereas it's actually summer outside, which is like another thing to kind of throw you off but also lead you to that conclusion and fully understand kind of the scenario that we're in, which I think is the case. So she has full opportunity. I don't know if she has to overcome and do all this on her own. I'm assuming so. I don't think there's anything that we can kind of go in our way and go after. I also don't know if this is something that we have to wait, the lull fully passes and everything's good, or if it's like she has to do this prior to it and she's kind of trapped on a time limit, or like what the scenario is for any of this and freeing herself possibly. And even if she does free herself, is she herself at the end of the day, or is something like, is there some sort of consequence and like loss of thing that comes out of it? I don't know. Plenty of questions still remain to be answered here, but I think it is pretty damn cool. Starting off with right from the beginning, getting called by Izumi, the person who came in and saved you. They hinted at that so many episodes ago, and look where it leads us now, to the first interaction, right? Showing up in this illusion state of what the summer is. He's actually still dreaming in this moment, not actually where we are right now. And we have like a playful little moment, of course, between them, probably created through entirely of his imagination of what he views the characters as, the states he wants to see them in and everything as well. And then we flash to winter, and it's like, that doesn't make any sense. In this moment, I was like, did this happen in winter? Was he like soulless for months on end here until we ended up getting to this point? But that's not the case either, right? Akihito probably has this version of himself created within it. So I'm assuming it's a version of like this dream state almost that Mirai gets created for herself too, so she can have other objects and people in it. But we see that through this version of him who's incapable of like acting out, and she's kind of pushing her own desires and things on it, using his hand and everything to pat her head and stuff. We show up here once again, it's like this creation of the things that he would like to see, right? Her having the glasses on in the summer, him creating this entire scenario and everything in the process too. And then once again we transfer here, different glasses. She's as she always is, reaching out to him, but he won't speak or anything. He constantly just moves, robotic in a way, soulless. That was back in the summer. It looks like we don't actually have a lot of time, right? I'm going to have to leave soon. What are you talking about? Where does that actually leave us? And then the explaining. I really love using the mirror in the situation, or the window, to flash through and show you like the scenarios and everything that happened, and let it all run through his mind, like right before you wake up. Similar situation, life flashes before you, when you're about to die. This situation, life flashes kind of before you, or all the things that happen right before catch you right back up to speed before you actually have to come back into the world, without having to use anybody else to fully explain it at that time for you. It all comes within me, and I disappear in the process, and you're allowed to gain your own consciousness and kind of be there at the end of the day. The little bit of blood within us, which connects. I mean, I've seen plenty of shows that use bloodline stuff, but also connection of having like blood placed within somebody else to show memories and show things and create visions and things. So that's not the most, out of reach thing I would ever say. I've seen that. It's very difficult to even still do so within a dream, and he wakes up at the right moment. Of course, Glass is left behind here. We explain a little bit. We get to see the father or grandfather, or the leader of the clan, basically still learning a little bit about him in the scenario. He's on board here, and the goal here is to kill them. I don't have any problem with Izumi. I last episode I was a little weirded out, I guess, by what she's been going through and doing here, but I really still don't have any issue with her. I mean, it's something, it attacked her brother. It probably looks bad on their clan. It probably looks bad for everybody else in Hunters. It can cause an end of the world and do all this stuff, so we have to take this thing and this person out. Like, makes sense to me. I really don't have any issue with her. I mean, the only issue I guess I have is like not informing your whole family in these things, and especially the people, because the brother and everybody else knew and was aware of what was going on up to this point, and nobody else was kind of explaining it or openly telling it. I'm assuming Mitsuki probably didn't know, but Hiromi definitely did. So I don't know. I mean, that's on a lot of the characters, on them not wanting to come forward and state true intentions and understandings and stuff. But I don't know. I don't really have an issue with that, with what she's doing or what she's trying to do. I mean, she's warning, she's doing everything that she can in this process to like isolate and separate people, and make sure that they don't grow too close together. And then I love this of just being able to see all these different scenarios and how all of them make so much more sense now that you've explained it this different way. They made so much sense in the actual context of like what was happening at the time, and they make so much sense in this context as well. Until we get to see the meeting, of course, where she has to explain, or at this point she's still warning her and telling her not to, and we flash through a lot, right? I'm sure he wouldn't understand the different times where we all meet. Of course, this one we didn't get to see either, but we saw that they did come face to face, and she explains things a little bit more to her. And then we learn the process of what exactly we can do in the process or what process we can go through to actually go through and kill him here. And it all works out kind of to perfection for her. And all of this, like, we get to see this, we get to see her with the frozen thing, all that stuff starts adding up, where all of this comes from. Sure, he'll be upset with me, it's not what he would want. He would want him to be dead and you to live on. You want him to, or you want to die and you want him to live on. Which one of you can get kind of what you want? And that's that last meeting that gave her that push, enough of a push to move forward and actually go through with what we end up seeing occur, and the consumption basically of her, until she comes here and she finds the core that I think she's going to essentially go after, and she's going to try and free herself, would be what we're guessing. I'm assuming he doesn't fully realize or understand the scenario that they find themselves in either, and we'll just have to kind of go there and see. Confusing at first, but I think as we talk ourselves through, again, one of those things that make plenty of sense and it actually works, and it was a really cool twist that they throw on these things, and I really enjoyed that, actually, a ton. Probably one of my favorite episodes up to this point. It was trippy at first, but I think like the way that it all just collided together by then was so cool. And I'm very happy to actually see that. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you liked it, all, like and subscribe. It means a lot to me. Feel free to check out the videos and channel. Me comments with the Spitter series. We'll be back for the 11th episode very soon. I hope you guys have a great one. Peace.